Okay, so let's look at parallel vectors now. Parallel vectors. So here we have the vector AB and the vector CD. And we find that they are parallel lines, right? It means the vectors have that same kind of tilt or slant and they point in the same direction. So when vectors are parallel, right, they only have a difference of some factor, right? So for example, CD is actually equal to K, which is some factor, times AB, right? So if these two are parallel, right, they have the same direction. They only differ in the magnitude, right? So CD is some factor times AB, right? That factor, we're calling it K. K can be any number, right? CD could be 2 times AB. CD could be 3 times AB. CD could be 2.5 times AB. CD could be half of AB, right? K just represents any factor. So as long as two vectors are parallel, the only difference between them is some factor that you can multiply one vector to get equal vectors on both sides, right? So that's what can happen, right? So an example, if the vector x2 is parallel to 4, 8, find the value of x. So what do we know? If the two vectors are parallel, right, the first vector is equal to a certain constant, right, times the second vector, right? So we can write that. We can write x2 is equal to k times 4, 8. x2 is equal to k times 4, 8, right? K multiplies both, so x2 will be equal to 4k times 8k. So now that gives us two equations. The first equation is x is equal to 4k. X is equal to 4k. The second one is 2 is equal to 8k. 2 is equal to 8k, right? So I solve this one first because it's solvable, right? For me to find my k, I simply divide both sides by 8. I get 2 over 8 is equal to k. That means a quarter is equal to k. Once I know k is a quarter, I can now find my x, right? It means x is, let me use just a different color so that it's clear. It means x is equal to 4 times k, but k is a quarter, so 4 times a quarter, which means x is simply 1. X is simply 1. That's how simple it is.